Hey, God Almighty. This is the Sweat Equity Podcast coming to you from Cigar City Studios in the Toco Works office in Ybor City. It is bums asshole hot outside this summer, and I'm sweating like a pig just doing this intro in an air-conditioned office. I'm your host, Law Smith. On this episode, we have 208 Monkeys. They're actually across the hall from us in this office. And we've been talking back and forth. These guys are real cool and kind of have the same kind of outlook I do, and in that area of, you know, they're really good at video and animation. How do they get to that next level? We talk about patience, you know, being curious and trying to attack it. The obstacle is the way, those sort of things. And so, you know, it was a fun little Friday afternoon podcast, a little relaxed. This could have gone on for probably about 3 hours, and, you know, we made it what it is. Feel free to send any guest requests to the Facebook page, Sweat Equity Podcast, or you can email me, Law, at tocoworks.com, TOCOWORKS.com, not Taco Works, as everybody's kind of monkey brain, reptilian brain goes right to tacos because, you know, they're great, and there's a taco emoji, and you have Taco Tuesday, and you have Taco in the League. There's a lot of good taco thing, Taco Bell. A lot of good taco stuff. So everybody's brain kind of goes that way when we're just Toco, which is always that thing of like, oh, I haven't done my job branding us correctly to make sure people don't dick that up. So that's fun. That's one thing. The other thing is we've got a lot of guests coming up. I'm going to bank a bunch of episodes because Baby Smith's coming around the corner early September. So guests, send them my way. And any questions you want answered on air, let me know. We keep the seat open for Caleb. He's welcome back anytime. I don't know if he's coming back. He may not. He may join us whenever. I may have other people just come in and co-host just because it's a fun hang. So we're gonna have a lot of episodes. Kind of, I'm gonna start banking a few just so we have one every Wednesday now, because Tuesday's a little too rushed, and this is kind of, you know, one of the 30 things I'm doing during the week. And I'm not saying that like that person who's saying like, oh yeah, I'm busy, and it's like, bitch, I know you're not. You just talked about fucking the whole Bloodline series on Netflix. I know you're not that busy if you figured out how to squeeze in every episode of Game of Thrones. You know, my point is that busy term, I feel like you want to like put your head through a brick wall when people tell you they're super busy, and you feel it, you know they're not, but you actually are, like, pulling 16, 18-hour days like I'm doing and kind of losing my mind, like I'm talking to no one right now. I'm just in a room by myself. So, anyway, this is a fun episode. iTunes, Podbay, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're going to get the college football podcast, the Triple Option, started in about 2 weeks, so mid-August, we'll get that going, and enjoy this. This is fun. This is good times. And look up 208 Monkeys. Like them. Go to 208 Monkeys, 208monkeys.com. And it looks good on it. How does that work? Oh, by the way, you need to, like, we'll do the radio thing where you have to say your name so people can understand who's who.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha.
So whoever wants to go first.
Hector Velez, I'm a Pisces, and I like walking on the beach.
There you go.
Damian Alpizar, also a Pisces, and I don't really like the beach that much.
No?
No, that's a total lie. I just had to be opposite of
Yeah,
Hector.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's like
Well,
two
ma-
bikes.
you- that's why y'all are partners.
Yeah,
You
I
know? Yeah, I don't understand how. I know there's more film festivals than ever than, but like I don't understand the model. Like, I get going to the festival and maybe being seen and bought. Is there just more opportunity now for that? Just because it's kind of like the music festival thing. It's kind of expanded where every city's like, hey, we can do a couple of these a year, and I don't know. I feel like it used to be go to Sundance. Hopefully, if you got into Sundance, you can get picked up. And then now, what's it like?
Well, there are definitely a lot more music festivals. Movie festivals, music festivals. Festivals in general out there. I guess what the main purpose of it is to gain exposure. I mean, it's like anything else. You have a captive audience. You have professionals in the industry from city to city and town to town. Obviously, the bigger and more prestigious festivals have an acceptance procedure. You get accepted. Just being accepted in some of these festivals is already a credit. That means that, hey, you didn't suck.
Yeah.
You did you did mostly everything right. Then beyond that, there's the exposure, and then there's the credit that you get as far as the street cred if you get any kind of awards or any kind of things beyond that. So a lot of the things that we do, especially in the creative industry, whether it's music or film or whatever, credit really does start to lend towards either potential future clients, potential future gigs. If you need financing for another film further down the line, you could say, hey, look, we were in this film festival, we won this award, we've done these things. And then people, start to believe more into your products.
No. You know what I always think about is the little, the Greek kind of the leaves that go around. Like it's been in this film festival, and now that thing's been so diluted that I'm making pantomime, which is bad pod, but basically, what is it called? God damn it! It's almost like
the Caesar headband.
Yeah, it looks like the cult symbol almost,
Yeah.
and it's like, but it's the leaves that go on the crown of Caesar or whatever.
Yeah.
And but now you look at them, it'll be like the Wetumpka, Alabama Film Festival, and you're like, what? You can't get those leaves. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
you just got to filter through the right ones.
Yeah.
It's sort of like those races, that they do now with the Spartan races and all that. There's
I thought we were talking about people. Okay, good. Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is gonna get weird. No.
No. You just got to filter through the right festivals. You just can't send it to anyone.
I thought you were like, Mexicans out. Get out of here. All right.
No. Build a wall. No, nothing like that. It's just you got to filter, the right festivals, pick the right ones, and know which ones are legit and which ones. Usually, it's, from what we learned, is the ones who's been out there the longest.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get one that just is new, that's been out for a year.
Right.
Give it like at least 5-10 years festivals out there, and if you can get SAG festivals, even better.
Yeah. Well, SAG is funny. I remember when I was like trying to go for commercials. I lived in LA for like 5 years, and I do like commercial auditions just for fun and see if I could get them. And I was like, everyone's like, oh yeah, SAG's really cool because they take your first check no matter what. And you're like, what? And they go, no, yeah, you're. Whoa. Uh-oh.
I'm that
Non-professional,
Wow.
non-professional.
But you get like they rip basically your first check, maybe your first couple of checks, so you pay into SAG and you're always in it. But then you have health insurance and stuff, which I guess is fine. But I just don't like that non-choice. Like the union's so strong with SAG that they'll just rip your check. And the only guy I remember that wasn't in SAG was the Dell computer guy.
Oh yeah.
They were like, that's what's gonna ruin him basically, and he's like, nah, I'm good, I'm pretty good. The guy's sitting on a mountain of weed in Austin or something like that.
Is he?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just guessing. By the way, if you need a drink, there's a few beers in there. I have to go to the store, and then there's some Florida Cane vodka, which is our new neighbor in Ybor City.
Really?
Yeah.
The day that
Law
I had to
is-
stop drinking for 16 weeks.
Wait, what now?
They got me. I'm starting to train again, so my coaches got me off of I can't drink anything for 16 weeks for competition.
What competition?
It's supposed to be a weightlifting competition.
Really?
Yeah.
So you used to do this?
Nope, first time ever. And last night I did it. Took him to the gym. Like 1980s gym. Rocky should be in there. And when we got there, the guy's like, the only thing I asked that you start on today is no drinking.
Really?
Yep.
So you both are doing this, just like
Just
let's
me.
get her. Oh, okay.
Well, it's just him, so it makes it a little bit more difficult on me. Because the first thing I said before we came on this podcast was, "Hey, man, should we grab a beer or something?" And he's like, "Dude, I just started today."
You're welcome to do it. If I wasn't, I've got to go hang out with my Korean mother-in-law after this, so I'm on my toes. You know, she's.
You might need a couple drinks.
I will, but I don't want to come in wasted.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I need to ease into it. I need to like sneak drinks while I'm around my house. But
Yeah.
she'll call me raw, and then I'll be like, huh? And then I'll be like, I don't know what's going on. So what made you want to do that? Because I think that's interesting. Always trying to give yourselves these side goals while you guys. I mean, I bitch about being in my office a lot. You guys are probably in y'all are across the hallway, but y'all are probably in there just as much, if not more, than I am. I mean, you guys are on the road or on site or whatever, so you're always working. But like, what made you want to do this? Or you just like, I need this side challenge to?
Yeah, it's just like a healthy body, healthy mind kind of deal. You know, we sit down about 12 hours a day, sometimes 15, just sitting on the computer, editing and doing, going through different things. And I was like, you know what? I just got to do something.
Yeah.
Something that's going to be challenging to me. And so I decided to do it.
I like it. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a half marathon with my buddy, and like I haven't talked about it much on the podcast or any of that, but because I don't want to be that guy who gets credit before doing it. But like, we do accountability thing where like, we're texting each other like, hey, I did a shitty mile at least, or I did 3 miles. It's hot as shit outside, so it's kind of tough sometimes. But I think it's good. I think it's good to have those challenges because it helps business. It helps like. It kind of helps like all things really if you're taking care of that. But I don't know if I can do the sober for 4 months. Have you done that before? What about weed? Does that count?
No, actually
that actually helps.
That
if you've seen Pumping Iron,
they said that it was okay. That's okay. Just don't do cigarettes. If you vape's even better. So it's one of those things that. I mean, better, healthier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not cooler looking.
No, definitely not cool. But he said that it's okay to do that versus the drinking. It's the drinking which keeps you, I guess moderate levels.
Well, it's the drinking slows down the metabolism, the sugar, the breakdown. I mean, there's a whole biological and chemical reason as to why the drinking is far worse when you're trying to get physically fit.
Sure.
Then
And the thing, and I guess what you have to do is you got to give at least one thing. I mean, you got to sacrifice one thing to the workout gods.
Sure.
So I have to give away. And I see you had Tito's over there, and the first thing that came to my mind was, I need some of that right now.
Yeah.
So it's been hard. I mean, it's been really hard. 23 hours.
Yeah,
Extremely hard.
Well, it's tough. I was like, yesterday we had a meeting at 5, and I was like, yeah, I feel like having some Tito's at this meeting, so that's going to happen. And, 4 shots later, I'm like, I'm going to go to bed at 7:30 at night. So I guess my thing with y'all is, how did y'all get started? You guys are doing some kind of, I'll brag about y'all so you don't have to, because I think people are weird about that when they get on the podcast. But, I mean, y'all are doing kind of big-time productions. I don't know what you're doing with our neighbor next door that I've never met, Digital Caviar, but you guys are working with them, I guess, and then y'all have done a bunch of commercials for HSN. I remember when y'all showed me like 6 months ago some of the stuff you did for Serena Williams' brand and Jessica Simpson's brand, I think. Go ahead and fill in the gaps, but I don't even know how y'all kind of came about or any of that. I just know you have I walk into the dungeon of the office with a bunch of nerds that are like, yeah, they're scared shitless. You have you have like 6 dudes like editing stuff. They're like, oh my god, who are you?
Well, the general story, Hector and I have known each other for years and years and years. I mean, brother from another mother, over 18 years, and we've worked together on just so many different projects throughout the time. I mean, we're talking high school, projects and stuff. I mean, all the way back then.
Sure.
And we got involved with TV, seriously got involved with TV. We've been doing production and things like that for a while, but we got involved in TV probably 10, 12 years ago. And worked for a little rabbit ear Spanish station. Actually not too far from here. It's long since gone, but our job was to take a Spanish station, make it relevant. It was pretty just
So showed
public.
a
It was
lot of tits.
no, it was more like public access in that regards. It was Spanish
So
public
just
access.
just a
basically.
C cup, basically.
Yeah.
Keep it classy.
It was church.
Yeah, very church.
There's nothing but church stuff.
So a
in it.
healthy B. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
then we had to go in there and rated R a little bit. They literally asked us to come up with programming that would draw in a bigger crowd. So we had run of a station basically.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, guys, do whatever you want. And we're like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, but I want to see. All right, what about before you got to that point? You guys were in high school fucking around or what?
Yeah. Pick up a camera, put some. I mean, Hector and his brother Zaid had been in music and things like that. So we've always done something in the music and entertainment field since we were probably teenagers. I mean, it's always been do something, in that field.
Sure.
We developed our skills and
We used to have animation battles.
yeah. You build a robot, I build a robot, I'll kick your robot's butt.
And then we fell in love with South Park, so we were like, yeah, let's make South Park 3D.
Yeah.
So like, what year are we talking? Because I'm trying.
1997, 98.
So, yeah, that'd be middle school for me. Is that about the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean because I remember messing around with a lot of that stuff. Like I've been a computer nerd for a while, but like I always did other stuff. I always played sports and stuff, and it was kind of. But when I didn't have shit to do, I'd just be on my computer all the time. So I was trying to explain to a client that's in Idaho or Spokane or something right now, and like she's 62, and I'm like, it's taken 3 meetings to get her on Google Hangout, and I'm like, oh yeah, I take all this shit for granted because I grew up with this. I forgot about that. So we were laughing about that, but for y'all, it's one of those things where I remember like checking out the South Park on Winamp and all this shit, and like getting progs and AOL chat rooms and all that stuff. Me and my buddy Blake, we laugh about it. But for y'all, like, you challenge each other. How did you do animation back in the 90s? Like, was it...
That's
very slowly.
Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
There was no. Remember, there was no YouTube.
One of our employees made fun of the fact. It's like, well, why was it so difficult to learn animation? I mean, why do you just YouTube? Wait a minute. Was the internet around?
He was born when the internet was just created.
Like, YouTube was like 04, 05, really.
Yeah.
Like when it kind of like, I remember it in college, and we were like, whoa, this is a game changer. And I was too lazy to do anything from there, but I was like. I didn't really have the kind of opportunistic kind of mind, not in a bad way, but like I couldn't capitalize on that like I could right now.
Yeah.
But for y'all, because I remember hearing about South Park and I was like, oh my God, these guys, like, they sat down and did construction paper and like just did it clip by clip. It seems like that I would kill myself if I had to do that. How did y'all not kill yourself?
Well, remember how he talks about the whole physical thing that we do on the side?
Yeah.
Where we actually met was in martial arts.
Okay.
So there's a large portion of meditation that comes with the martial arts, and I guess that sort of patience is what you need to do animation. Just in general, you just need to be patient.
For me, also, we used to gag people.
Oh yeah.
So what would we do is like we thought it was the funniest thing at the time because you're young, you're dumb. But I was like, I'm gonna put a big penis on top of my friend's head, and I'm gonna move it frame by frame, and we're just gagging, and then I'm gonna email it to everybody.
and
that's still funny now.
Yeah. Well, our biggest thing was, oh, you want to mess with me, dude? I know how to animate and I know Photoshop. I will put you in gay porn and no problem,
dude.
And then of course our one friend who was actually gay was like, no, dude, put me in straight porn, and then I'm really gonna be a problem. And I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna make it so that it's not cool for you. That's all.
Yeah. Then we were like, hey, man, we could probably do something with this.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, I mean that.
Maybe we can get paid to do this.
Well, yeah, you do it for free, and you're interested in it, and then you do it for free for a while until a Spanish TV station picks you up.
Yeah.
So all right. So I go fast forward back to the Spanish TV station. How old are y'all?
How old are we now, or how old were we then?
Then.
It was, 7, 8 years ago?
It was like 12.
12 years ago?
Yeah, I know you lose track of time.
I do. I totally lose
He's
track
bad
of time.
at timing.
Yeah.
Do not ask me time.
That's why you need an AD.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's
That's part of the weed. See, that's why.
You know, maybe it's just he's really patient with time.
Yeah, that's what it is. That meditation.
Yeah. So
so we call it callback, my friends. No,
yeah. So let's call it 12 years ago.
Okay.
And what we basically did was we just took all the messing around that we have done and some, side gigs and professional stuff that we've done, like, one-offs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And we started putting all ideas together and making TV shows. So one sports show, one kids show, one magazine show, and a talk show. That's it. So we put together these 4 different types of shows.
Okay.
We were able to use all our different skill sets, but really what the cool thing was that we were able to just experiment, and that really is a platform that you don't normally get when you're first starting off. Someone just sit there and says, just experiment, just learn, just do what you want to do. It was Vietnam training though, because everything we did went out on air, and if it was messed up, we heard about it. Hey, by the way, you put this thing on air and there was a misspelling on there, or there was this frame didn't do this right, and so you were getting feedback immediately as to what was working and what wasn't.
Sure.
And it was you learn to tighten up very quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's like I've brought this up a bunch on our podcast, but the best thing I got with my first real job was I was like, hey, I'd ask a bunch of questions. I'd try to be curious and try to do a little bit more. And it was a grunt job at like a mutual fund company. It's a really great company. It just wasn't. I couldn't get up every morning and really get into it. But I would be like, hey, how do I do this thing in Excel? And the guy would come over, a buddy of mine, his name's Sean. I think either Sean or Joe. I can't remember which guy did it. But he came over. He's like, oh, yeah, let me show you. And he typed in Google. He's like, fucking figure it out yourself. And he just walked away. And I was like, But that's the best thing that ever happened to me work-wise, because it's like, oh, yeah, I need to try this first. And I need to go through the fire a little bit before I'm like pulling in and wasting someone else's time to go, hey, how do I do this? I'm sure that might be a similar scenario, but you guys were just thrown in the fire, and you're like, oh, we're gonna have to keep these operations going, figuring this out on the fly. Is that kind of how it happened?
Yeah.
Like, here's how a lower third comes in, and like, here's how we have to do a name graphic and all that stuff, and just
it was. Hey, look, we need a bilingual station, and we need some programs, and we need it to be on Verizon, and you have 3 months. Go.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
And so, all right. So y'all were doing that. How long did y'all do that for?
Don't ask me. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say about 2 to 3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you had to come up with content, shoot it, all that stuff, everything.
Yeah, to present it to Verizon to see if Verizon would pick up the station, and they did.
Oh, so it was like almost like a startup kind of deal where someone.
Yeah, they were doing a whole rebrand.
It was the whole before before they went to HD.
Yeah.
So they have different networks. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
So we did that.
We'll cut that in post. We won't. But yeah.
So all this is pre-recorded. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're not doing this live. I might need y'all's advice on how to set up a 2-shot camera in here and encode it to stream on YouTube and Facebook Live. But for now, we're not doing that.
Dude, the best thing about it is that now they got it where you can edit it on like an iPad, so it'll be easy.
Yeah.
They're making our job way too easy, or they're making us obsolete. One of the two. Haven't figured it out which one it is yet.
Well, I mean, I sent y'all the episode, and if you're new to the podcast, it's episode I think 29. It's back a ways with Zach Yeager, who's from here, who'd made great content. I don't know if y'all had time to listen to it or not, but it's one of those things where he's just finding he was working with big advertising agencies and basically going, okay, these budgets are insane. We're sending people around the world, and it's like, hey, I can figure out that budget. And he sussed all these people around the world, all these photographers and videographers, and then he also had producers with each of these people, which is really smart. I didn't really think about that. You need a project manager, essentially your PM, who's the producer role, who's gonna like hone that creative person in, keep them on a schedule, and then he's basically like he's got a whole network out there of freelancers around the world, and he's basically kind of hacked a lot of that cost accounting for Coca-Cola or some of these huge accounts. So I feel like that's something to kind of, I'm sure y'all are keeping your eye on that, how that's going to actually kind of change y'all's business.
That's changing our business completely. I mean,
yeah,
you have to, we've come to find out is that the labor work is not where the future is at.
What's that mean?
Like, an editor or a person who can draw, because it's becoming so cheap.
Yeah.
Now to do it, and now there's software to do stuff like that. Like you were saying, the editing. There's an editing that you don't need an editor. You just need an iPad, and someone can just cut the different cameras, and it's done.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty scary. So, and that's new technology. So you can imagine what it's going to be down 10 years. But one thing we learned too is what you can't buy is creativity.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you got to be on your toes. You got to always be creative, always thinking ahead and thinking the future. Of different things. So, but yeah, that's a very scary thing for our field.
So how do you prove? I deal with this a lot too, because I'll do a lot of creative work just on the fly. I don't do the actual, like for y'all, you may not actually touch the apps that you edit with. You may just be directing a bunch of guys, which is what I do. But I can draw logos, and I can draw ideas, and I can write up scripts if I have to. But then I just go, all right, here's the idea. Now run with it. Here's what I'm looking for, because I need to use my time as best I can. I'm sure y'all deal with that. I have a problem trying to prove to a lot of people why this is valuable, which is, on my side, it's insane, and I know y'all agree with that. How do y'all prove that value of like, hey, the creative part, this is, we're doing this for you. It's not as easy as you think it is. Because you have to hone in creativeness a little bit. I fucking hate artists that are like, I just need to be me, and I need to I need 3 weeks to do this. And
that was us 12 years ago.
Sure, and that was me with stand up when I first started too. It's like jokes would just have to come to me. I can't sit down and write them. It's like, and then when I started doing it, I read about Jim Gaffigan. He would just sit down with a legal pad like I have in front of me right now, and he would just write something at the top, and then just try to write freeform write. And when I started doing that and treating it kind of like a job a little bit, my stand-up got so much fucking better. And so I don't take that shit from any of the artists I have that I use as freelancers. I just go, yeah, everybody's got due dates, so don't tell me that you need this amount of time. And the guys I really am drawn to are guys like y'all, or our new client who's Man-Made Murals, who he's like just fucking work ethic all over the place. So I feel like there's a way to be creative, but you have to give yourself due dates, or you just it'll never get done.
Yeah, you got to be able to produce. I mean, you got to be able to create on a deadline. I mean, this is the art business, and the creative business is still a business. So you have to be able to actually get things done, stay as creative as possible, but within a time box, within the time frame. Otherwise, the rest of the world just can't operate on whenever the mojo comes to you. That just doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, so how do y'all do that? How do y'all pitch the value of y'all's creativeness to clients? Is that kind of an open-ended question?
No. I think it's
Do you need Tito's?
Well, no. Yeah, looking forward to it. No, I think it's like a two parts, because there's the early artist who's just getting started and has very little portfolio and very little track record.
Right.
So that guy probably, or gal, has to probably go out there and not only pitch and sell, but they sometimes often take a hit on, some either value, some prices. They may also end up in a situation where they have to just do stuff of their own on their own projects and say, look, this is what I've already done for myself. This is what I've done for, people that have trusted me in the past, and I will do this for you at probably at this rate, because there's always going to be comparison. They're going to say, well, why should I go with you with no portfolio of any work? And even though you're super creative and you're selling me on it, but
right.
I've no proof that you can actually do this.
Yeah.
Versus this person who has a huge track record, and they may cost more, but at least I know they're going to get the job done. So there's always that phase.
Yeah.
And that really never goes away. What only happens, and I'll say why, because even though we have a portfolio of business now, so we can lean on that a little bit and say, look, we definitely could do this for you, because look at what we've done for them.
Right.
They've paid us for it. They've made profit off of it. There's a return of investment. Our creativity made money. So we have that.
Yeah.
Problem is that everyone's very, very narrow-minded. So even if you've done creativity for, let's say, a bakery, a cookie shop, and a donut shop, for some reason, the French pastry people are going to be like, yeah, but you've never done French pastry before, so can you really do this? Mm-hmm. And you're like, dude, I mean, it's to me, it's pretty much the same thing. Obviously, there's some changes because it's your brand, but
right.
Yeah, so you still have to do a little bit of proof of them. But luckily, once you have to build that portfolio, you have to build that. There is a little level of creativity and credibility that you have to kind of build simultaneously to prove it. Unfortunately, it's in your head until otherwise proven.
Yeah, that's true. And that's when, like, we talked, like, before y'all revamped your site, I was like, you guys have much better stuff that you're not pushing out there. Like, you got to, like,
we're horrible at marketing.
Well, we're bad at it too. So I understand that part too. It's really hard to be your own promotion agent almost.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of take a step back a little bit, which is kind of a corny way of, like, I try to think about it. If I'm my own manager, I think I could figure this out. But it's all at the same time, you can start really pushing for that when you have the capacity. You know, like, we're not going to go hard in the paint and probably until like mid-September, because I think our ability to take on the work we want to go for, we'll be able to do that. So you're going to see me douche out big time in the local media stuff pretty soon. But, like, my thing is, like, that thing of always trying to prove it with the client. People are like, well, what industry, what niche is yours? And I'm like, nothing. And I know that's like almost a fool's kind of philosophy in business, but we are targeting certain areas. You know, just to give a basic criteria, it's like, do they have a marketing budget? Let's start there.
Yeah.
And then the second part is, do they have the personality to really listen? You know, those are really the two we're kind of gunning for. Do they understand marketing, advertising, makes sense, branding, all this stuff, the stuff that we do, strategy, cost cutting, anything consulting wise? They need help. We could help almost any business, really. But do they understand that they can't do it all themselves, which I'll see with some law firms that think they can do it and they don't. You know?
I have a buddy who just graduated from school and can totally do my entire website, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Or I have a cousin who
my son can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got outbidded. Oh, I talked to this guy. You know, he said your website's the bid you gave us is too expensive, and he's gonna do it. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me another person that's gonna do a website for you, technically our competitor in this scenario, said we're too expensive. By the way, did you read the whole proposal? Because we knocked down the website to very little. The real chunk of this is you have no brand, and we have to do all your branding and all your messaging and all the taglines and what you're about. Who are you?
Oh, but I can get clip art for that.
Yeah, sure.
What are you talking about? I go to Logos R Us.
Yep, I can go to 99 Designs. Yeah, have fun with that. Yeah, it'll start out at $99, but you'll end up paying way more than you would have if you went through us, kind of thing.
Everybody's a web designer, I guess, with Wix.
Well,
and then they come right back to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I throw it out there and I just go, okay, I get cocky a little bit and I just go, all right, I'll talk to us when that doesn't work out and then we'll be here. And I'd say 9 out of 10 times that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it really depends on, and that does happen quite a lot. We get what we call the drop ball syndrome, where someone goes and they try to do something with someone else and that person drops the ball and we just pick it up and run to the end zone with it.
Oh, yeah.
But what ends up happening is that it really just depends. I mean, that's actually kind of a filter too.
Someone would call it a fumble, but
drop ball, fumble, whatever. All the people out there are like, he doesn't know football. Yes, I do know it's called a fumble.
He's Canadian.
Are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm as far from. Well, hold on. No offense to my Canadian brothers and sisters out there.
Yeah.
No, I'm Cuban.
Okay, that works.
On the other side, we with football.
Pelota, yeah.
Pelota.
Yeah.
No, but what ends up happening is that ends up acting as a filter, because then you do have those people that are just looking for the cheapest, dumbest thing that they can get, which is okay. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you go for. And then there are the people that actually genuinely want something of value, and then they go and they spend money, and then they come back because they realize, geez, you know what? I should have done this correctly the first time.
Right. You can't do everything on an iPhone.
Yeah. So
even though you think you might, you'd really have to. It's really tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's the real threat. The threat isn't, for example, the Squarespace and the Wix and the apps that can edit and stuff like that. That's not really the threat to the business.
No.
What the real threat is the perception that now that this stuff is available, it's easy.
It's the auto-tune.
Yeah.
You can put it like it's auto-tune.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it makes it sound like, anyone can sing because you can put auto-tune on it.
Right.
Anyone could do those kind of design because, we got an app for that.
Right.
And there's still a large. I mean, you on Squarespace could do a lot more than any Joe Blow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
there's still that skill set and that knowledge that is involved that people tend to forget.
Honestly, it's more about communication with the client than it is actually the work. You know, I track all my hours, and I spend more time educating, communicating what they need than anything. And we're gonna automate that a little bit, but like, for instance, and I'm sure you guys deal with the same thing. I want to shoot a video, so I sent this to a friend before I was like, I got the guys across the hallway, but I'm gonna filter this a little bit. Let's see how serious this is. And I go, okay, what's the objective of the video? That's number one. All right, what are we doing? Number two, where is this going to be played? Where do you think this is going to be played? Website, Facebook, okay, because those iterations matter in formatting. All right. Number three, what's the setting? Are there multiple settings, or is there a script? Do we need people? And I started breaking down like all the producer stuff you'd ask. I don't know how y'all go about that, but I'm sure you get a lot of bum like, well, we need this. We need a commercial, but yeah, what? And you're like, okay, but what's the dates? Because this is all labor intensive, and we shoot long days so we get the most out of people. Because you really look at productions of commercials or movies or anything, they're trying to squeeze as much out of that crew as you can because your budget's so tight, and it's almost never right. I've never heard of any of my. Now, I've only been around a lot of bigger productions. I've never really been in them or on the business side of any of that, but I've been around it enough to know like there's never wiggle room on days to shoot, and the crews are expensive once you hit over that mark.
And they're booked, and you can't cancel on them. And if you do, and you go overtime, there's a lot of things like that.
So how do y'all deal with that? Because I'm driving myself nuts. I kind of think about it in the same way with us. Like I have freelancers, and I go, look, we have them for this bricked out period. Once we go over that, that's OT, and it's not going to be on us. It's going to be on y'all.
A lot of it is, you know, I'm sure you have to do this, and almost everyone has to do this with their clients. Is a little client, manage their expectations a little bit. You don't want them on the day of any set of any production going, you know what would be a great idea, or what I saw last night, and go, oh, well, hold on now. You can't. Oh, God. We can't. I know you were talking with your wife last night, and she thought that this would be a great idea to throw a drone in here, but we did not plan for that, and that is outside of your budget. You do it as kindly as much as possible, but then you also do the opposite, which is you do plan for a little margin of error. You don't tell anyone that you plan for it. Yeah. But you do plan for a little margin of error. You do plan for a little bit of, okay, well, it's Florida and it's summer. Rain can happen, most likely. So even though the forecast says sunny, plan for an hour or so of a shower that just shows up out of nowhere. So you try to experience helps with that. Knowing kind of ahead of time that when your client says X, Y, Z, what they really mean is A through Z. Yeah. So and then pointing those things out to them, like, hey, so I know you said you want it on white, but the background to be on white, but looking at your palette, looking at your brand, and it's orange. Do you want to sprinkle something in the graphics, somewhere in there? I mean, and you kind of ask the questions that they forget to ask. Sure. Yeah. That's a good call. I mean, like, I got like my brain's kind of going in 80 directions because the video side, because the way y'all handle a lot of your work is similar to the way I'm having to deal with it too. So it's like, I don't want to make this a total like, venting session or any of that, but like, well, you'll be hitting the punching bag soon for a lot of that. I used to do that a lot. I might have to go hit the heavy bag in a little bit. But my thing is like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with those client expectations up front? Do you go, hey, this, and this can happen, or is it just a waste of time almost to tell that?
No, Damian's he deals with them a lot.
I try not to be an asshole.
I call him Dracula because he knows how to like keep in the microphone, but he knows how to like
a Jedi mind trick. He's doing the Jedi mind trick motion right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I'm doing him. But he knows how to Jedi mind trick them, but in a good, nice way. I think communication from beginning. Yeah. Like you said, communication with them is top. And instead of talking on the phone, sometimes you're like, no, let's email them and talk to them so there's proof. Yep. That
that's a big one too.
So important on that. You got
cover your
ass. Because if not, then
how about this? I want a video set up in here for the podcast, but I want it for my meetings too. Because I want to go. No. We went over this, and this. Here's the video of the meeting we had.
Yeah. It's like presenting a court case. Here you go, and here's the video evidence. Of you saying this.
Well, I have to walk into a lot of meetings like when we're in the thick of it, coming down the pike, and I'm like, I feel like a defense attorney because I'm coming in. I'm already loaded with stuff to say because witnesses in court are bad or really unreliable. If you ever look at the stats, a witness account of what they said or what happened is really unreliable. It's kind of crazy that we use that. We do think it's reliable the way but statistically, people do not have a good memory of what's gone on. I know I have a bad memory, so I started recording stuff because I know my memory sucks so bad. I write down everything or try to record it or do something, and I'm getting to this point where I'm working with friends and I'm trying to help them out, and like they don't know, they don't understand that I'm hooking them up a little bit because I'm not going to go like, here's the price and then here's your price. Right. I'm not going to do that shit to them, and like I just tell them like, hey, I'll hook you up. Just know that I'm hooking you up, and I'm going to be very short about everything. But I feel like a lot of meetings, as I get closer to the end of our project, I have to become an attorney about it, and basically come in loaded with. I know what they're going to ask about. I already know this is probably going to come up, and then I've already got shit ready in the hopper, ready to go. I guess I kind of think about that with before I go on stage sometimes, and I can see the crowd's rowdy, and I'm like, oh man, I know that guy in the Maui gym, sunglasses, wearing them inside. I'm gonna fuck with that guy. Like, I just know I'm gonna have to have stuff like ready to go, kind of thing.
I'm gonna say that's probably an advantage that you have. I mean, being a comedian, being on stage.
Oh yeah.
That sometimes Hector mentions the whole Jedi mind trick Dracula thing, but sometimes it's just a little bit of levity, a little joke.
Yep.
Hey, listen, this is gonna suck for you, Mr. Client or Mrs. Client, but I'm just gonna let you know it, and just by breaking the ice a little bit on that, especially when you have to give them bad news, whether it's because of their expectations or actually the contract said you only wanted these 3 things, and now you're wanting 17 things, and then this is the bill, and I told you there'd be a bill. And
so we're gonna try to figure out how to have a PM on each job, or someone who's the bad cop, right? Yeah. Whoever's doing the client service side needs to be the good cop, needs to be the fun person, needs to be the salesman, business development side, but we need a bad cop. And that needs to be our project manager on each thing. I don't know if y'all do it that way, but I've been obsessing about our operations lately, and I feel like it almost has to be that way.
Yeah, that definitely does help. We used to be where I was the only face, so I was good and bad cop, which makes it very difficult when you're asking for late
you're
payments.
Not Harvey Dent.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, everything's cool, man. We're working. It was great. I won your trust. We got you finally on the books, and now it's like, now you're late. Now I got to be the jerk,
right?
Who we just wined and dined the client for however long it took to land your client, and now I got to turn around and be the jerk who's like, so where's my money?
Right.
Why you're 60 days late? I mean, come on, really, dude?
Yep.
And that
you're due upon receipt.
Yeah.
60 days. That hurts our cash flows.
Exactly.
You realize you're being an asshole.
Yeah, and then they come back, or you. And the sad part about it is that sometimes they're good enough clients that you're like, well, I still want to work with you. I mean, you're actually from a client standpoint.
And then you have to talk like a camp counselor, like, look, here's the thing. Like, you get on one knee and you're like, all right, so I still want to work with you, but we got to really work on this. Like, I got to be a guidance counselor about it.
Yeah, and that's where the bad cop comes in, when we could be like, listen, I need you to go and just be a jerk to them, and you don't care if they don't like that other person, because they're like, you know what, that's the project manager, that's the jerk, that's the person I don't want to deal
with. Our
with.
bookkeeper, that's our CFO, they're the dick. That's their job, is to call you about this. That's going to be our first hire. I think full-time hire is going to be someone that does that for us.
Actually, you're going to use your brother-in-law, right?
Yeah, I'm going to use my brother-in-law just to do it, because he doesn't. He's just very firm.
What is he?
He's not even going to be a full-time person. He's just going to be the guy who just calls you just to be the jerk.
That's all he does. I mean,
100% jerk.
He does right now. He's in finance, so that's what he deals with.
Right. Yeah.
And he has no problems. It's like he's mobster kind of guy, and he's just like, hey, give me the money. And this is, you have to give me the money.
He doesn't break legs, not yet, but he does.
But
well, there's always going to be bad debt, and like whatever. If you're ever in a service industry, even attorneys deal with bad debt, which is almost insane to me because it's like, why would you ever not pay? Why would you not call the person that could fucking ruin your life? Like attorneys.
That's the one person you gotta pay.
Right, that's the number one person. Yeah, maybe arguably before the IRS, because at least the IRS will break you a deal. Like some attorneys might not. Most are nicer than you think, but like, I
until you owe them.
Right, until you owe them, and then, look, I'm always gonna have bad debt. We've kept it low, which is good, but I'm sure y'all have dealt with that too, where people don't pay on time, and that hurts your cash flows, which. You know, you guys are probably on a lean strategy like I am, and you know,
I think almost all businesses, all small businesses, even large businesses, they don't like seeing people not pay.
Right,
not pay, and then be on a yacht with a bunch of beautiful girls in the background. He's laughing like, "Who's this? Who's this? I owe you how much? Oh, I'll pay you tomorrow. Hold on, baby. No, don't jump off the boat. We'll be there in a minute."
Right,
and then he owes you money on the other hand. Then true story, never calls you back still, and you're like.
Interesting. All right, we can talk about that off air. See how to find that guy. I got some nerds that can do some hacking. But I guess all right. Damn, we've flown by in this. Where do y'all see the state of like video going? Because I don't know what to call it. Video and animation. I don't know what to call y'all's sector.
It's really media content creation. I'm trying to sound like a doctor or anything here. It's
right.
Just what it is that now we create media and we create the content, we create this media, and then it is used for whether it's broadcast, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. It gets used in multiple places because you can't just think about one medium anymore. So now when you create the content, you have to kind of think about, well, what are the different forms this is going to work on? Just like with web, is it going to be, it's got to work on iPhone and Android, and for those few people that have Windows phones as well.
Oh, we just broke down that chart, yeah.
So, it has to work across multiple platforms, and so does the medium that we're creating these days. So that's what we basically do.
Safari's only used on like 3% of desktop. That was one of the weird ones. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was strange. I don't know how I broke down the stats and I was like,
what about iPhones? Do they use Safari? I mean,
I was just saying desktop. iPhone, it's still smaller than you'd think because it's the default browser, but I don't want anybody to fall asleep at the wheel or while they're jogging.
Okay.
Listen to this part. But I'll have an infographic.
The nerd in me started saying, "What?"
No, I'll have an infographic coming out soon because we had to break it down. We're doing a video header for a client, and then it's like it's a looping header video, and they're like, it's not showing up on Safari. On an iMac that's a Thunderbolt that's like 27.5 inches, and it's like let me show you the percentage of people that will look at that. And then in your market, it's kind of laggard anyway. They're not going to see. It's like, this is such a small percentage that you guys don't want to spend $10,000 trying to make this happen. We can, but you don't want to. Anyway, what I was going to say is, where do you see this media generation kind of industry going? Because there is threats of, hey, I can just get a GoPro and do whatever. But once people go through that, I probably get the same amount of people that have tried to use their cousin to make something and then, make a logo or make ads for them or whatever it is, like help them do their operations for their business or strategy or whatever. I'm sure y'all get a lot of people that have fucked up trying to get that family member, that cousin to go, well, he bought a Red camera, but he doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah, I definitely know a few people who does that.
Or a Canon SD or 5D or what is it? I don't know. I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I think ultimately what it boils down to is that there will always be people that will gravitate towards the mom and pop or the cousin or the brother or the sister to work on it, and that's fine. If you're a business and you're just starting up your little home business, something like that, that might be what works for you, and that might be all that you need. And then there will always be that tier of people that are like, listen, I'm running a professional business. I need professional work. I don't want to deal with chasing down your cousin to get back to me because he's, doing something, or he was out drinking last night and he doesn't have a set schedule. I need professionals. I need someone to show up to respond, and they will always tend to gravitate towards our type of companies and some things that are a little bit more, stable, that have a track record. Even if you're an independent contractor, if you are a stable and a very dependable independent contractor, you're still going to start getting that tier of clientele. And then there will always be those, what I call the larger, behemoths that will always say, okay, well, look, unless you're, have a staff of 50 people and you're at this level, I don't even want to deal with you because they have their own expectations and their own things. So there's always going to be like this little tier system.
Sure.
And you just got to decide where you're going to be at. And we're in our particular position, we're always going to look at, we don't want to compete for the person who wants to deal with their cousin as an animator or whatever. Right. If that even comes up in the conversation, we're like, okay, well, great, kind of like you.
Yeah.
Great, go ahead and try that out. And when you're ready to deal with someone professional, come to us.
Right.
We deal with people that move millions of dollars worth of product. They need to know that we have broadcast deadlines. So those are hardcore deadlines.
Right.
I mean, there's like, oh, well, I'm 5 minutes late. Well, guess what? You missed your air date, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. They don't play. They don't have time for that. So
everything has a deadline for y'all.
Yeah,
it's an intense deadline. Deadline. It's
very hard.
Yeah, very hard.
So we will never be in a position where we have to compete directly with someone with that technology. That technology might make our jobs easier, but we don't have to compete with that because our clients require a certain amount of professionalism.
Sure.
Now that doesn't mean that you can't be professional with an iPad. You could be an awesome editor with an iPad.
Right.
But it's then kind of boils down to like what you said earlier. Well, what can you do with that iPad? How dedicated? How
experience
how
matters.
Experienced are you with it? How can you deliver on time? Can you deliver the product we need? If you can answer those questions, the technology for us, I mean, yeah, it's scary, but it's only scary because it's only going to dilute the industry a little further. Once the 5D,
it's inevitable.
Yeah, once the 5D came out, and people were able to shoot movies on a still camera. Everybody had a camera. Everybody was a videographer. Everybody was a DP. Everybody,
Yeah,
so
I compare it to Pro Tools. When Pro Tools and the other audio software came out,
now
everybody can do music, and and look how big, how diluted music is now. And that is just a matter of time that I believe personally that the audio and the video is going to be just like the audio, where people can do movies, and it could be a good thing because you could find there'll be more directors and more creative people that might come out of it, but it's definitely very scary for me.
At the same time, though, I think music's a little one-dimensional to me in a way. Like, there's so much more that goes on. Like, music's like a part of making films, or making commercials. So to me, like, animation, what y'all are doing is a lot more complex than music, I think. I feel like there's more pieces to really putting together something that's well made.
Well, what we do is we have a mixed medium, similar to what you do. Yours isn't just graphics.
Right.
Yours is graphics and web and marketing and branding, and so your service that you provide is a mixed medium. And even though our stuff is content creation, it is still a mixed medium. Like I said, it has music in it, it has video, it has animation.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure
it is a mixed medium. So it is a little bit harder to just put that on in one app.
Right.
Hey, this app will make everything for you. So that has become a little bit more difficult. But what Hector was saying is correct. Someone might be able to take an app and make some awesome content out of it and make a very successful business out of that. And that does present competition because some people don't know the difference between a good website and a bad one, or a good video and a bad one.
Yeah.
And, that does present competition. So you do have to be aware of it. To turn a blind eye to it is just suicide.
And I'm a big nerd about, all right, the only way I'm going to prove, because I'm working, you guys are working with probably marketing directors, and you're working with you're collaborating like I do. It seems like you guys don't see other companies your size doing what you're doing as competition necessarily. I see it as like, I'll probably collaborate with Harbor Co., who's down the street. Like, I don't see I'm like, what do they do a lot better than us? Ooh, I like some of their design that we don't do. I see them as a good person to work with. I see y'all as a good company to work with. But like, I had a point to this.
He lost it.
Yeah. Look, that's why I keep this is why I keep this legal pad if I didn't write it down. But basically
he's playing hangman.
I'm drawing dicks like I'm in high school. You can't get me out of that Catholic high school kind of mode. But I'm saying like I guess I don't think you guys see as more progression, and you don't look in the rearview mirror and go, well, these guys all have these cameras that they can film on. We're just going to try to keep getting better and better. And like, I know where I was going with this. I don't know how y'all prove ROI on y'all's creative. I can do it a little bit with design, but it's hard to go, here's why this video is going to be a lot better than this video. I can rely on stats at least. That's what I try to do. Here's why web design matters. And I can go, there's real estate to a website, and there's more important areas and too many of the same behavior, just like a menu. When you go to a restaurant, if it's all 3 columns are all the same, it has bad design. Thus, you can't highlight anything to sell more of. Right. Same with a website. With a video, I think that's a little bit harder, or animation, right? Because it's like I can kind of do it, and I go, all right, we're doing video ads. First 5 seconds, that's what matters. Because if you're scrolling through your Facebook or Twitter, because Twitter's starting to autoplay video now, if you're scrolling through, you got to keep the ADD of someone. And if you're doing a commercial, it better be under a minute. God damn.
Oh, yeah.
It better be under 30 seconds if you can.
30 seconds right now is long.
Yeah, I don't even think Instagram will let you do ads that are longer than 30 seconds. So you got 29 seconds, the first 5 of which you got to figure out how to catch their attention. Because there's a major drop-off if you don't have that. Just like any speech, really. Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all have those.
How many people do you think have dropped off by now?
We don't have a huge audience, but the people that listen really
Thank you
listen.
For saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 500 to 1,000, somewhere in there. So, picture that in a room.
This is a good, decent audience.
Yeah, some of my clients listen. So they're like, yeah, I heard you, not talking shit, no, but they're like, I heard you repeat the same thing you're telling me all the time. I'm like, yeah. It's like when you see me do stand-up twice. I might repeat some of the jokes. These are thoughts I have all the time. So, I'm gonna play repeater, even though my wife's gonna kill me one day. But I guess where do y'all? I'm not gonna ask how you prove the value of a video over another, because that's gonna be way too hard to, especially on a podcast, describe. Where can people see y'all? Get in touch with y'all, and then. What do y'all have coming up in the future?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to completely skip over what you just asked, only because there is something to be said. What we found is that over the course of the past few years, again, we deal with a lot of clients that sell a lot of products on HSN and things of that nature. So we calculated just over the course of the past 3 years. We didn't calculate this year at all. But last year, so it's from 2013 through 2015, 2012, 13, 13, 15, 13, 14, and 15. Thank you.
Okay, now we're back.
Where's the Tito's?
Yeah, I know, right? Our clients had generated about an extra $2.2 billion in sales.
Okay.
So
you're part of that.
Well, actually, they generated more like $40 billion. We calculated what we were, what we augmented to that. So it was about $2.2 billion. Versus this is what they were generating a year before, doing the same products, and they started implementing, animations and videos and things of that nature.
Wow.
This is their percentage of increase. We can calculate for only a small percentage of that increase. That comes out to about $2.2 billion. It is rough numbers. It is not an exact science. It is basically, like you said, my website was getting this much traffic. I put a video ad out there, and it increased by 10%. Well, what does that equal? And then how much of that, aside from everything else you were doing, how much of that do you think was attributed to the video? So there are some numbers we have been able to actually prove that there are, definitely how you present certain things to a client and to a consumer who's going to buy something does increase sales, because we have to tell people all the time.
Yeah.
If you're going to invest $10,000, how are you going to get that back, and how quickly can you get that back? And you have to have something to show that, look, on an average, you're going to get that back within the first round of sales or the second round of sales or the third round of sales. You got to be able to show something. So there is a reason why people actually, they do track everything. They literally track everything.
Yeah.
When there are spikes in sales and everything, they track everything.
Yeah, and I'm never one of these Florida hacks that is like, well, by doing this, we're going to get you X amount, of sales. And it's like that. Forget that. There's too many variables in business, just in general. But you can always go, hey, the companies we've worked with, we have increased sales. We're part of this $40 billion increase. Obviously, it would be very hard to find that metric, to find exactly, but we think it's roughly a bill.
Yeah.
A bill or two.
Yeah, somewhere, if I
with a B, that's a B.
Yeah, that's
There's 3 extra zeros in what you're probably thinking in your head. Yeah, $1 billion.
Tres comas.
Yeah. And the reason why it's again with everything else. You look at companies, and even your own clients will tell you. They'll sit there and go, "Hey, that worked. Fantastic. Sold out." And you can do the math and go, "Okay, you sold how many things?"
Right.
Okay. All right, good. Good for you guys. And,
sweet.
God, I need points on that next time.
Yeah.
But
then the time you make a rev share plan, it's like, oh fuck, company went bust, and you're like, God damn it. I've done those. I've done those before.
There's those things, but so you can do some calculations. But I think for the most part, I mean, we're happy to help anybody who is looking at whether when we do have those 2 models. We have the model which is the show up, pay, we consult, do our thing.
Yep.
You go, you make money.
Yeah.
And we have the revenue share model that we're starting to play with a little bit more. That's a selective model though. Very selective model. So
Better believe
please
that.
do not hit us up with a bunch of ideas of things.
So their website's at 208 Monkeys. If you got any ideas on how to sell, you need video and you need rev share plan. Only products under $100, please.
Oh my gosh. But no, the idea is
grow with
models.
them. Yeah, grow with them. That's kind of, and you're gonna create your own criteria. I've done it too. I've revamped how we've done it because we've been on the wrong end of that, and that's fine. But it makes you go, okay, what are we looking for? And I have about a half of it is the criteria of the personality of the boss, the contact person, the whole business.
Yeah.
How do they really act?
Yeah, if you're going to go to bed with somebody, you really want to know a little bit about them before you do that.
Yeah, just don't drink Jaeger and just get in the sack with anybody.
Yeah, we made it a solid rule never to do business while drunk. We've done that a couple of times.
Oh, yeah?
Turns out.
It starts off as a great business meeting. You have a few drinks into it, and then you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's just go ahead.
We'll give you 10 animations for just 1%.
Yeah. That hurts. My dick just shriveled into my body. Yeah.
So we made a vow never, or at least one of us has to be sober. Because it's hard to say no to a client when
so for the next 16 weeks, I'm going to get hammered while he has to do business.
I don't think there's a better way to end than that. Thank you all for coming on.
Oh, man, thank you.
Yeah.